Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. December is Zelda month here on the channel, so we're going to play this thing from beginning to end over the course of the month. We are in episode 2. We are trying to get the Pendant of Courage from the first real dungeon. I guess you can't really consider saving Zelda from the castle dungeon. So this is the first real dungeon that we're going to be facing as we go in here. I believe this is where we get the bow and arrow. We've already got 5 arrows from earlier. A lot of the conventions that this game lays out move on to the later 3D Zeldas. I'm not a real fan of those. I know a lot of people consider Ocarina of Time to be a true masterpiece. I liked it. It was a decent game. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Link to the Past, and I'm really not a fan of the later 3D Zeldas. I didn't think Majora's Mask was all that good. And Twilight Princess, not a fan. The story was good, I just didn't like the gameplay. Skyward Sword is a complete and utter mess as far as I'm concerned. The wiggle waggle, as I like to call it, for the Wii just doesn't work with it at all. So really, this is what I consider to be the pinnacle of Zelda gameplay, and I know that that's going to be an unpopular opinion amongst a lot of people. A lot of people don't regard this as the best Zelda of the series, but as far as I'm concerned, this perfected the series playstyle. It is the pinnacle of the 2D Zeldas, certainly. It definitely beats the old top-down first one for the NES, and certainly beats the... I don't have the key to this, do I? No, I don't. Certainly beats the Zelda 2 format, where it was a side-scroller. To be honest, I did enjoy that one. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but it's a good game. It's not a good Zelda game, is the best way to put it. It's basically a great game in a different series, for lack of a better way of putting it. It did way too much different, and I think a lot of the franchise suffered for it. I don't know, I mean, just picture, if you haven't played it, picture Zelda, except everything's on a flat 2D side-scrolling plane. It's basically Mario with a sword at that point, and I couldn't get into it at the time as a child, and I don't think a lot of people could. Going back to it now, it's actually a really good game. I might play it on the channel at some point, just to give you an idea, even if I just do it as a one-off, to give you an idea of what that turned out like. But, I remember it having a really nice atmosphere, like the villages were in it for the first time, and Ganon, when you got the game over screen, would come up and laugh at you with his pig face, and it really set a tone, and I think as a storytelling method, I guess for lack of a better term, it was the best in terms of the Zelda franchise. It really told the story the way it needed to tell it. For the NES, there was no better way to tell a story than what they did with that game, I guess. But, I don't know, it doesn't stand up as a part of the series, because it's not really in the same style as anything in the series. We've got the big key, folks. Let us go back to the treasure chest in the other room. But yeah, Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, I believe, was the subtitle for it. Arguably the least good one of the series. I don't want to say it's a bad one. I think it's still a very good game, like I say. It's not as good as any of the other ones. Arguably, I would say the Wind Waker is the strongest of the 3D titles. I know a lot of people are going to say, no, Ocarina, but Wind Waker to me it had a tighter control feel, and it had a nice cartoony look that I appreciated. I know a lot of people wanted the realistic looking Link, and they were really upset when Wind Waker came out. But going back and looking at it now, I think a lot of people would appreciate the way that it looks. The only issue I really have with Wind Waker is the fact that the GameCube just didn't step it up a notch, I guess, from the N64 in terms of what it could offer. And I think that suffers, or the game, I should say, suffers for it a little bit. There wasn't anything new, per se, introduced, other than the horrible overworld with the water, which I guess is 90% of what other people have a complaint with. I can buy into that. The overworld was kind of pathetic. It was a cop-out, basically, like, hey, let's make the entire overworld flooded, so that we only have to render some islands here and there, but it'll feel really vast. And I don't know, it didn't connect with me, and I don't think it connected with a lot of gamers, and that's probably part of the problem that people have. Ah, God, we're gonna die here, aren't we? No! Ugh. Controls aren't as tight as I remember! Oh my God. We are in for it now if we can't kill this guy. Come here, come here, come here. Open up, open up. Yeah, eat it. Yes, okay. We are still in business. Anyway, as I was saying, the controls aren't as tight as I remember in this game, but overall, still the best of the 2D Zeldas. The Game Boy one, arguably, was also, Link's Awakening, I believe it was called, was arguably also really tight. The story is probably... Ow! Which one of these is right? I swear I pushed that one at the beginning of all this. Anyway, arguably the story in Link's Awakening is stronger, I feel, than this game. Not by much, but enough that it's considerably noticeable. But I believe it did come out after A Link to the Past, so there's that to consider. I mean, it had the time to take what they learned from this game and really adapt it for a new game. Ha, you're dead. Let's see if we can take on this boss. Doesn't look like... No, he's not in this room yet. I swear the boss is around here. He's not that hard from what I remember. I think we're going to get some hearts out of these things anyway. Let's go ahead and grab some hearts. Oh, look, some red guys. Doo-doo-dee, doo-doo-dee, doo-doo-dee. Come on. Yeah. And now the boss. First of all, I don't know who designed the boss as a series of the same enemy. Kind of annoying. If anything, I would have preferred one guy that ran around the room, ow, in different patterns and did things that way. Kind of a cop-out, making you fight multiple of the same enemy. And in typical Zelda fashion, he's extremely weak to the weapon you get in the dungeon that it came from, so the bow and arrow in this case. I don't have a problem with that. That's traditional Zelda formula. Make the main enemy weak to whatever you find in the dungeon that he's in. No problems with that. But see, this is a more compelling fight to me than when there was a bunch of them in the room. So, realistically, this is how the whole, fight should have gone. A little bit easy to parry him, I just realized. Just keep your sword out and you can't really do anything. Huh. Never realized that in all my years of playing this game. Just keep the sword out, you can't do anything. And we get the Pendant of Courage. Everybody's happy, the peasants rejoice, and we can move on to our ultimate goal of obtaining the Master Sword and defeating an evil wizard, which no doubt isn't the actual end of the game. You won the Pendant of Courage. Take it to Sahasrahla. I really don't like that name. 2 pendants remain. Bing. So I guess we'll go back and see the Elder that took us, 400 years to actually find last time. Because he's hidden out here instead of in the village he's supposed to live in. Switch it back to the old boomerang. The bow and arrow is one of those weapons that I feel a lot of people probably use, but I'm not a big fan of it. I prefer the tried and tested boomerang. It can collect items, it can stun enemies. Here's the old man again. Oh, you got the Pendant of Courage! Now I'll tell you more of the legend. 3 or 4 generations ago, an order of knights protected the royalty of the Hylia. These knights of Hyrule were also guardians of the Pendant of Courage. Unfortunately, most of them were destroyed in the Great War against the evil that took place when the 7 wise men created their seal. Among the descendants of the Knights of Hyrule, a hero must appear. I see. Link, I believe you. You should get the remaining pendants, and carry this with you. It's a treasure passed down by the families of the wise men. I want you to have it. And we get a pair of red boots. Kind of feels like we're watching How I Met Your Mother here. We've got the red boots that Ted always wears, the red cowboy boots. I think we're gonna... do we not have to equip them? No, we don't even have to equip them. Ah, look at that. So we're gonna go in here, collect what's in these treasure chests, which I think is all just money anyway, but hey, let's rob this old man blind of his bombs and money. Yeah, a whole bunch of money. See, old man. So now 2 of the pendants remain. The old man would like us to find all of them so that we can gain the Master Sword and become the greatest evil hunter in all of Hyrule. Who are we to deny an old man his dying wish? Although he's not really dying, but I guess we could kill him after we get the Master Sword, because it can kill anyone. Or, as legend says, seriously, this is still the dingly-ass shield that I had at the beginning. Like, you'd think they would have given me a new shield by now. This is the smallest thing on Earth. I don't get it. Where the hell did we come in from here? I feel like this might be the most Let's Play style Let's Play I've ever done, and I know how to play this game. It confuses me sometimes as to where I'm going. Alright, it's been, in fairness, probably about 15 years maybe since I've played this. Yeah. Alright, that guy's gone. Alright, so, bring up the old map here. That's not the map button either. I always forget. There we go. Aha! So, there's the desert medallion is the next one we want. Let's go over to the desert. And we will have to cross the bridge of arrow guys. Aha! And I'll go back and get this. Masterful dodging skills there. Grab my arrows. This way, like Helia shop. Well, I do like Helia shops. Let's see what they've got. Oh god, a buzzard. A buzzard! Alright, let's see what's inside here. A Ku Klux Klan member of some sort, I guess. He's disguising himself with purple robes, but let's face it, he's definitely part of the Klan. You look like you might have an interesting destiny. May I tell your fortune? I'll make it cheap. Fortune tellers in these games never do anything good. We're gonna say not interested. It is indeed a poor man who is not interested in his future. I'll be waiting for your return. I am quite interested in my future. I'd just rather have the money. Because quite frankly, if I gave him the money, I'm pretty sure I'd get some kind of a fortune like, you are 20 rupees richer? No, that wouldn't work at all. You are 20 richer... guys, I cannot speak tonight. You are 20 rupees poorer, is the way I wanted to word that. And, you know, he'd be right, because he's like that. It's like when they used to have JoJo's Psychic Alliance. I don't know if anyone remembers that thing, you know, where you had the old black lady on TV. It was like, oh man, call my number, I'll tell you your fortune. It felt like you were going to call, and the operator was going to be like, I knew you'd call. Because, you know, they're there answering phones, but the kind of people who would call that kind of phone number would be like, oh my god, they knew I was gonna call, they must be psychic, and then they would tell you something completely asinine and ridiculous, but the person would believe it anyway, because they're so pre-ingrained to believe what they hear, because they really want it to be true. Also, sorry if there was a bang on the microphone there. I actually hit the table. I apologize for that. Ooh, Mudman. Mudman, what the fuck is that thing? Hey, that's ugly. Oh, I gotta go this way. Oh, I remember now. I need the freaking book, don't I? Yeah, I need the stupid translation book. Oh, well, back to the village. We will make a detour. I forgot about the translation guide to read those signs. This way, back to the thing. Like this, and over this way. I love how if you run against an angled wall, instead of slamming into it, you do that. And then when you do hit a solid wall, you just slam. Also, why are these rocks, I guess, marked with an 8? I never understood that. They're like 8-ball rocks. There's dark ones, there's light ones. It's always been a source of contention for me. I don't know why they chose to do that aesthetically, but it doesn't make any sense, and it hurts my head as a result. And we continue forward, back to the village. This might be the most boring thing to watch. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't realize how much backtracking there really was in these games until just now. Hopefully it's at least somewhat compelling. We got Johnny Longsword here. The Hylian army has upgraded at least a little bit. Back to having full-ass swords. What's the best way back to the village from here? I guess I can pull up a map. I gotta go over that way, and then that way. So how do you... yeah, alright, I remember this. There's so many pathways you can't take until you have better equipment. I wish that was just the whole map was unlocked from the beginning. It's always been my problem with games where they restrict your movement patterns. What the hell's the game with the cars? Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto is the worst for that. Especially the earlier games in the 3D Grand Theft Auto series where you had to keep unlocking the different islands and whatnot as you went on. I feel like I paid money for this game, and maybe I don't want to do your stupid-ass missions. Maybe I just want to go cause havoc on that particular side of the world map, and there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to. I get restricting access to certain things, new weapons and gear and whatnot in games like this, but the area shouldn't be restricted. There should be a reason why you can't access what's in the area if there's something hidden there. Like, take, for example, this stupid book that I'm going to get. It was available to us in terms of where it is from the very beginning. We just couldn't get it because we didn't have the run-run boots, is what I'm going to call them, the run-run boots. You need these to be able to knock it off the shelf. So it was fine that you could get to the room that it's in because you wouldn't have been able to obtain it anyway. That's the way they should have, at least in my opinion, done the things in, like, Grand Theft Auto, for example, or even the other parts of this very game, where it's unnecessarily, there we go, restrictive for the sake of being restrictive, I guess is the best way of looking at it. You found the Book of Medora. You can use it to read the ancient language of the Hylia. So now that we can read the ancient language of the Hylia, which I'm pretty sure is just Klingon or something like that from the looks of what was on that tablet. Sanskrit? Sanskrit's a real language. I bet you it's Sanskrit. We've got to go all the way back to where we were, which I'm sure is equally boring from the first time. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to make you watch it twice, I guess. I could, if this gets annoying, if there's a lot of this backtracking that I didn't really think of when I decided to do this Let's Play, maybe I'll speed it up and use a, like a song or something in the background to make it more interesting. I just feel like there's going to be too many segments where I do that, running back and forth, and I don't want it to become basically a musical interlude show, more so than an actual Let's Play. God, I hate calling them Let's Plays, too, because what I do isn't really a Let's Play. It's not like we're sitting here and learning anything about the game. It's more let's talk, I guess is the best way of looking at it. I like to talk to you guys, and this is how I use the game as a medium, I guess. This is how I get to talk to you guys and feel my feels for you. So you get to, like, I mean, look at this episode. You've learned that I don't like Ocarina of Time as much as most people do, and that I feel Wind Waker is probably the strongest of the 3D Zeldas, despite my initial not liking of it. I guess what else could we possibly have learned over the course of this episode? That probably is about it, but I mean, that's enough. Considering it's only been 2 episodes in this series, you've learned what one of my favorite games is, that being this game. You've learned how I feel about the later 3D Zeldas and how I wish Nintendo would just continue to make these Zeldas instead of wasting my time with 3D crap I don't want. And, yeah, we've learned that walking back and, oh god, Mudmen. We've also learned that Mudmen are scary. We've learned that walking back and forth can be annoying as all goddamn fucking Mudmen. It's all hell. So, I feel like we've gone on a journey, if you will, over the course of these 2 episodes. Let's read this stupid thing. To open the way to go forward, make your wish here, and it will be granted. And then Link prays to, I don't know, Hylian Jesus, I guess? Where does his hat go? He took it off, but it's not in his hand. Strange, I guess. He also has pink hair, which I've never realized. Anyway, praying to God opens up the doorway. Because that's usually how things work. God opens doors. There's a lot of religious subtext to the Legend of Zelda games, actually, when I think about it. Link is kind of like the Jesus character in a lot of these things. Alright, so here we are in the dreaded sand desert. We've got the outer space vagina monsters coming at— Whoa, Jesus! I forgot about the laser guy. We've got outer space vagina monsters coming at us out of the ground. The deep clitoris monster here. Ah, come on, really? That hit you. It was a pot right to your face. Hate it when the collision detection doesn't— oh, come on. There we go. Maybe I gotta light these. Let's try lighting these. Will this solve the mystery? No. I guess I gotta kill those guys. Let's kill those guys. Sometimes you can't even tell if there's a puzzle in the room. It's like, something's probably gonna happen if I solve the stuff in here. No, nothing's gonna happen. Well, we have a full stock of arrows from that. There it is. We have obtained the map, which, as we discussed last time, looks like a Pillsbury Crescent roll. Oh boy, a room that I can't get out of with a lava clit. Lava clit? Dirt clit, I guess. I don't know. It's something with the clit. Nope, nope, nope. Ah, stop killing me, you people. I just want the hearts. I don't care about the people underground. Yeah, alright, get a heart from that. Let's get the hell out of here. Get my heart on. Ah, see, we need a key to this door. These dungeons are laid out, I don't want to say poorly, because that kind of is counterintuitive to my saying this is one of the best Zeldas, but they're laid out frustratingly. Oh god, do I need to go outside? I can't remember. No, I do not need to go outside there, at least. And we'll skip Lasery McGee, duck around this dobbledy-doobity. Ow. These guys have, like, precision aim. Let us go adventure and check the other side of the map, if it lets us. Aha! A way forward, no? Damn it. How dare they put a wall in our way. Alright, we will go this way, and we will... okay. Aha, yes, I remember this now. Stupid freaking clip monster die. Alright, this is the way we shall go. There must be a key around here somewhere. Is this the same room I was in? No, there's the key I remember. Ah, Sir Hasselatile. We can talk to the old man through that. Yo.
Link, it is I, Sir Hassela. You must never fail to find all the treasures in each dungeon.
Well, thanks, buddy. Alright, let's go. Ow! Stupid fucking ass laser beams. It's one of these... Yeah. It's one of these godforsaken rooms where you gotta find the switch underneath to get it. I always hated this dungeon. I think this one and the one in the... I don't have the big key. This one and the one in the... I can't finish my sentence. The woods. The woods. This one and the one in the woods are the two I hate the most. In the Dark World and the woods where you get the Master Sword in the Light World. Not a fan of that one. And not a fan of this one. The monsters in this one are annoying because they can dig in the ground and whatnot. And then the other one, I just find the whole level annoying. You gotta drop through holes over and over again. Well, you'll see when we get there, but... one of these pushes... There we go. Fairies, that's not what I came in here for. We need to find the key, the big key. This is where we have to go outside. I believe there's a heart piece over here. Yep, you found a piece of heart. Because pieces of heart just lay around on the ground and are easy to obtain. We don't have the lifty thing. We can't go in there, so back inside. Back inside. Oh god. Laser beam McGee again. There must be a room that we're missing somewhere along the outskirts here, because we still need that big... Oh, we have a map. I forgot all about that. I think that shows a treasure chest, but we needed the big key for that. Ah, there we go. I see where we have to go. We needed the small key from earlier. I remember that. Now we're good. It's all the way along the outside. We're going this way. The music in these Zelda games was always just so good. Like, just listen to this dungeon music for a few seconds. It's so well orchestrated. I know it's a bad term, orchestrated, but it's so well put together. This music is, like, ideal for the situation that it's in. And then you get the do-do-do-do chime when you find things. It makes you happy to play the game. It's rewarding for what you're doing. When you get a secret, you get the ding-ding-ding-ding-ding. It's so well put together. Nintendo just puts a level of polish on all their stuff that other companies just can't compete with. I mean, you can say what you will about their hardware choices and about the wiggle waggle that they added to the stupid, whatchamacallit, the Wii remote. The whole Wii was kind of a mess conceptually. Forced motion control is never a good idea.
You got the power glove. You can feel strength in both hands. You can pick up and carry stones now.
Anyway, yeah, the Wii conceptually was just such a... It was all over the place. It was for casuals. They tried to fit hardcore games in there. I don't think it succeeded in doing anything that it set out to do. The motion was not one-to-one from the beginning, and then they came out with Motion Plus, which was supposed to fix that. At least for Skyward Sword, it didn't. And then now the Wii U is just so good, and the worst part is they use the same Motion Plus controls for the Nintendo Land version of Zelda, And it's one-to-one controls. Like, Skyward Sword isn't old. It could have had those controls. Those programmers worked for Nintendo then, just like they do now. But instead we got a piss-poor, uncontrollable piece of shit instead of what we deserved, which would have been a really good entry in the Zelda series. I can't wait to see what they do with Zelda on the Wii U, though. That's going to be incredible, because I don't think they're going to force the wiggle-waggle controls, which will be, quite frankly, good for the series. Forced motion controls is always a bad idea. I don't have a problem with having motion controls as a control option for that kind of game, because sometimes you do want to feel like a badass swordsman, but there are times, and when I say there are times, I mean most times, that you do not want to be sitting there wiggling and waggling around the entire freaking time. Sometimes when I get home and I want to play a long game like The Legend of Zelda, I mean, they're RPGs, let's face it. Whether or not they're action RPGs or not, they're still RPGs. I don't want to have to sit there and worry about moving around and doing a bunch of dances with my stupid remote, trying to get it to work. Why don't I have a key? Do I need... There we go. Trying to get it to work right, especially when you need to block and parry, and they made bosses around the idea that you had to do certain things. It never worked out. It was just a mess, and all they had to do is just give you an option to just use a normal controller. Twilight Princess had a GameCube version, and it was much better because it had standard controls. Why they couldn't have just included that control scheme as an option for all later Wii Zeldas, I don't know. I mean, clearly they could have. The control scheme exists. It was already mapped out. All they had to do is allow for it to be a control option, but they just stubbornly want that stupid wiggle-waggle control to be there. They want it to be the next big thing. They marketed their entire thing around it, so they're forcing it on you, and I don't agree with that at all. Alright, here we are, guys. The boss of the second Pendant level. I remember correctly, there are 3 of these worms that pop out of the ground. Yep. This one I'm okay with the duplication of enemies, because it feels like there would be different worms in this area. He's fairly simple to deal with until you get down to 1. I believe the 1 then starts throwing a lot more rocks, if memory serves. The rocks are really what you have to watch out for. The worm barely has any chance to hit you. And you bounce off if you keep your sword ready right above the hole. There goes 1. And the other 2 probably are pretty weak now. We might have a good shot at just killing these off before they become stronger. There goes that guy. I gotta let you just hear this next guy's death sound. I love the sounds the bosses make when they die, so here we go. I'm just not gonna stop talking. Assuming I can actually kill him. I love that sound. It's so... everything about the sound design in this game is incredible. We've got the Pendant. 2 down, 1 to go. We're just firing through this thing on our way to the end of December, guys. We're going to beat this thing. Guaranteed within this month.
You won the Pendant of Power. Your goal of finding 3 pendants is in sight. Go for the last one. Sting.
Alright guys, it looks like this is a good place to end it. We're at about the 28-minute mark, so we've got a long episode. Tune in next time when hopefully there's some more talking and dialogue in the game, because I enjoy giving them accents and whatnot. And until next time, see ya!